What's going on, Bengals fans? We have some breaking news to discuss here on Tuesday morning. The NFL trade deadline is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and the Bengals have already made a trade today. If you were following yesterday, Jerry Jones, before that Cowboys game last night, said that they had kind of a handshake deal already in play, and it seems like this was the one. The Bengals are trading linebacker Logan Wilson to the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to break it all down here on today's show, so make sure you guys are subscribed. We're going to be live at 1 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon, and we're going to be live for about, three and a half, maybe 4 hours, something like that. We're, just going to, talk about, the trades that are going down inside the NFL today. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Come hang out with us here on Bengals Breakdown, and we are going to break down this Logan Wilson trade. All right, so the trade details first. The Bengals end up getting a 2026 seventh-round pick for Logan Wilson. And I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping you were going to get like a sixth-round pick, maybe a fifth, sixth-round type of pick swap here for Logan Wilson, but it doesn't really surprise me. There's a lot of trades going on right now in the NFL. You see a lot of sixth-round, you see a lot of seventh-round picks out there, being swapped for players. And at the end of the day, Logan Wilson just was not playing as much as you would like, on this Bengals defense to probably really get anything else there. So, he did request that trade, but 2 weeks ago or so now, so it doesn't really surprise me that, the Bengals do end up moving off of Logan Wilson here. He's had 46 tackles so far this year, and like I said, he's been playing kind of, just sparingly with, Barrett, Carter, and Demetrius Knight Jr. getting the bulk at that linebacker spot. His snap counts so far this year, he started off the season 64 snaps, 71, 42, 65, 62. He was playing the majority, of that, main starting linebacker for the Bengals for, the first 5 games of the season. But once you got to that Green Bay game, that's where you really saw the snap counts decline here for Logan Wilson. Only played 12 snaps against Green Bay. I don't even think he played in the second half of that game outside of special teams. And then against Pittsburgh, only played 26. And then the Jets, he only played 20. I do think when you're talking about only getting a seventh-round pick right now for Logan Wilson, I do think some of that has to do with the fact that he is a little bit banged up right now. Obviously, he's dealing with that calf injury that he suffered during that Jets game, a couple weeks ago anyways. And, you can see right there, he just has not really been the guy this year that, I know a lot of Bengals fans, really hoped and expected him to be. I will say, I think he's done a pretty decent job in like pass coverage and stuff like that. I think he's been, doing better than a guy like Demetrius Knight and, Barrett Carter when it comes to the pass coverage there. But you're getting a 7th-round pick now for Logan Wilson. So we'll see if this ends up, being the last trade here for the for the Bengals today. Trey Hendrickson's also a name that's kind of been floated out there as well as a possible trade for the Bengals, but we'll end up seeing what happens today. But like I said, we're going to be live for the entirety of this trade deadline. So I want to hear from you guys down inside the comment section, down at the pinned comment of today's video. Grade the trade for Logan Wilson for that 7th-round pick. Let me know what you guys think. You can be totally honest with me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know how you guys feel. Probably give it a B right now. It's a guy that's not really playing for you. So let me know what you guys think. Grade the trade A, B, C, D, or F. Now, I do think, and I said this in our video the other day, and I still feel the exact same way. Logan Wilson, at the end of the day, he knows what it is to be a Cincinnati Bengal. He knows the culture here. He was part of that team that went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And, it does, I think it's going to hurt in terms of having that, veteran leader on your defense, especially in a defense right now that is just struggling so bad. You got some, I don't know if mutiny right now is the right word to call it because, guys were just frustrated after that game the other day. But this defense right now is not playing well. And, I just don't necessarily think if Logan Wilson was out there, I don't think they'd necessarily be playing any better than they are right now. So, it does suck that you're losing Logan Wilson. He's a great person at the end of the day, too. But you do also come off that contract a little bit as well. All right, we'll continue with this Logan Wilson trade talk here in just a second. But this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks, and the weather might be changing right now, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, by the way, it's the only app that offers stacks, meaning that you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want more than on Josh Allen's passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. This right here is a great example of stacks. This is for the Thursday night slate of games here. Going with Bo Nix, more than passing yards at 215.5. And then the stack right there for Brock Bowers, going with the more than on receiving yards at 58.5. And then going with the more than on receptions as well at 5.5 for Brock Bowers. That is a great example right there of what stacks can do for you. And by the way, this is the power play. But on Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the flex play where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. If you want the biggest payout, though, go with the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to get to put your takes to the test. So download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time for you guys. It's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link, by the way, is going to be down in the comment section and the description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All right, so this is what you're looking at right now in your linebacker depth chart. Barrett, Carter, and Demetrius Knight, your 1-2 punch there for the Bengals. And we'll see if, Zach Taylor has talked about, they believe in the guys that they have. And I do want to make note as well, like if you remember back to that Super Bowl run, the Bengals did have some young linebackers then, and you did also have, Al Golden as your linebackers coach at that point. So, maybe, he was kind of part of, helping out some of those guys there, whether it was Jermaine Pratt or, Logan Wilson as well, helping those guys develop. So we'll see. I know a lot of Bengals fans right now just don't really have a lot of confidence in your linebacker room right now. But, if you can, just go back to, that Super Bowl run. I know it was a long time ago, and I know we don't want to keep riding on that like Zach Taylor was in his press conference yesterday. But, maybe you could put a little bit of faith right now in Al Golden to be able to develop some of these young linebackers, and we'll see. Maybe, you're not going to see the payoff this year, but maybe you'll end up seeing it next year. So what is your one-word reaction to the Logan Wilson trade? Let me know what you guys think. I think painful, honestly, just because he's a guy that, a lot of people really do respect in this, in this Bengals locker room. And as fans, I think a lot of people respect Logan Wilson as well. So let me know what you guys think. What is your one-word reaction to the Logan Wilson trade? So like I said, you do also pick up another draft pick for this. You pick up a 7th-round draft pick. Right now, you do not have your 5th because you ended up trading that in that 5th, 6th-round pick swap for Joe Flacco. So you got 2 6th-round picks right now and 2 7th-round picks as well. Got your 1, 2, 3, and 4s as well. I don't necessarily know if the Bengals are indeed done right now. Before this NFL trade deadline, you traded Logan Wilson right now. It doesn't really seem, I don't think that, you'll see like a CTB trade. He was that healthy scratch a couple of weeks ago. And, since then, I do think he played a little bit better the other day. But, it seems like that was just kind of a wake-up call for CTB there. Trey Hendrickson, the Bengals, have said that they still want a, first-round pick for him. We'll see if big if there, they end up, moving off of Trey Hendrickson here today, and we'll see if they can get a first-round pick for him as well. because that seems to be what they want for Trey Hendrickson right now. And I do think there's some edge rusher, needy teams out there as well. And, maybe somebody gets a little bit desperate. And, you've seen across the league as well with some of these trades that, you can manipulate some of the contract as well. So, if a team isn't necessarily, in love with the Trey Hendrickson contract that you ended up setting him up, you gave him a, $15 million raise there, and, another team could tag or trade. You could tag or trade him, next year or something like that. Just really don't know how that's going to go down there. But, we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe a guy like McKinley Jackson. I almost thought that, Jerry Jones loves doing wild deals. I almost thought that there might be a chance where, you see McKinley Jackson and Logan Wilson go to the Cowboys because they need some DT help as well. Whether or not he was going to be able to give them that, I don't really know there. But they're also trying to give up on Mozzie Smith. I thought that might have been like a player swap. There's a lot of things that I thought may go down with this trade. I even thought maybe, Trey Hendrickson was going to end up going to the Cowboys, which I still would not rule out because the Cowboys do still need another pass rusher. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're going to be live here at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you guys join us for that as well. And before we get out of here, I want to hear from you guys down inside the comment section one more time. Do you guys like this trade? Logan Wilson going to the Cowboys for a 2026 7th round pick. Let me know what you guys think. Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section of today's video.